Imagine this. Trump has just made a move that could massively transform the U.S. banking system, and hardly anyone is talking about it yet. For the first time ever, the U.S. government has officially thrown its support behind digital assets and stablecoins, and they want banks to play a leading role. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent recently declared, "We will use stablecoins to keep the U.S. dollar the world's most important reserve currency," which marks a historic shift. This opens two possible paths. One where the government tightly controls the financial system, and another that resembles an era over 200 years ago when banks competed by issuing their own forms of money, a system some call chaotic, but others hail as one of the most creative periods in financial history. The real question now is, are we heading toward a new age of free banking, and what could that mean for you? A new documentary will break all this down, explaining why the government is moving in this direction right now, and how it could create one of the greatest opportunities to build wealth in decades. Here's the reality. Trump is aiming to completely rebuild the U.S. banking structure, reshape the tax system by cutting income taxes and increasing tariffs, and move from traditional fiat money to stable digital currencies. He wants to free banks to operate more independently. A key part of this plan connects directly to XRP, the only cryptocurrency company Trump has publicly supported, which is working on a new stablecoin called RLUSD. This development is poised to strengthen not just the U.S. financial system, but global finance as well, making everyday currency more dynamic and speeding up transactions significantly. Soon, American banks will start issuing RLUSD and similar stablecoins, and if you own XRP, this is excellent news because it will enable trillion-dollar deals on the XRP ledger, massively boosting XRP's usage and value. We'll dive deeper into how the banking system is evolving and what that means for XRP in particular. Smash that like button so more people can understand what's happening, because things are about to heat up fast. Let's get into why the U.S. government is suddenly embracing stablecoins with open arms. Why now? And why is Trump steering this? The White House Digital Assets Summit last week made it all crystal clear. Trump's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, made the bold statement, "We will use stablecoins to keep the U.S. dollar as the world's main reserve currency." Take a second to let that sink in. This is monumental. After years of ignoring or battling cryptocurrencies, the government is now actively promoting them, particularly stablecoins. Why? Partly because they have no real choice. Inflation is spiraling, global trade is shifting away from the dollar, and emerging economies are working together to challenge U.S. financial dominance. China, in particular, is pushing its XRP digital currency to bypass American financial sanctions. Even though some nations are moving away from the dollar, there is still enormous demand for dollars globally. Trump and Bessent see stablecoins as the perfect tool to flood the world with digital dollars, reinforcing the dollar's supremacy in a crypto-driven world. Here's where it gets even crazier. Although today's biggest stablecoins like Tether and USDC are already tied to the dollar, they're created by private companies, not U.S. banks. That's a huge issue for traditional banking power players. Trump's plan is to change that completely. He wants American banks to be the ones issuing these stablecoins, making them fully backed, regulated, and integrated into the EWS banking system. And this isn't just theoretical, it's already underway. Trump has started laying the foundation behind the scenes, and Congress is actively drafting new legislation to make it a reality. The U.S. government is already beginning to shift its stance on crypto, and major banks are quickly preparing for the changes ahead, as the transition to a new financial era is happening much faster than anyone initially expected. In fact, within our private trading group, we've been anticipating this moment for quite some time, actively trading through the volatility that naturally comes with the birth of a new financial system. Many of you have been following along, witnessing firsthand the significant profits we've been able to generate. I consistently share all my trades, exits, and profits with the group, and we've seen remarkable gains. Some deals have closed with profits of 50%, 100%, and even 240%. Just recently, I closed 2 more trades that brought in gains of 61% and 18%, and there's still a lot more on the horizon. I want to ensure that everyone has the chance to take advantage of these opportunities and make money throughout the market turbulence expected in 2025 and 2026. We primarily operate through two platforms, BTCC and Botnix, and if you're interested, all you have to do is sign up and follow the simple 3-step process for crypto crusaders. To understand the bigger picture, let's revisit the recent developments surrounding the Trump administration's actions towards stablecoins like Ripple being integrated into the global financial system. President Trump has made it clear that stablecoins are key to maintaining the US dollar's role as the world's dominant reserve currency, which is an incredibly important signal. Shortly after a major summit concluded, Trump signed an executive order to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a U.S. digital asset stockpile moves that are monumental but whose real significance lies within the finer details of the order. Treasury Secretary Bazant clarified that this directive will force changes in tax and banking regulations to favor stablecoins. Initially, the Treasury will reverse outdated guidance that previously restricted digital asset markets. In addition, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency will create new pathways for national banks to legally hold and transact with stablecoins. This carries two major implications. First, it shows that Trump's administration isn't just making empty promises, they are actively rewriting the rules as we speak. Second, it strongly suggests that banks will soon have the green light to launch their own burrah. Stablecoins. Trump has made it clear that he's not going to delay this process. He wants a stablecoin bill delivered to his desk by August. In his own words, Trump stated, "We want digital dollars to be made by American banks, not by foreign companies or radical government officials. This must be done through Congress." For this bold plan to succeed, the U.S. government must shift from opposing crypto to embracing it, and based on the moves we're seeing right now, that transformation is already underway.